Hello everyone, this is Almafishchum, and I am back. So now let's get back to this. Now that we have the electric weapon, we're supposed to go after Fuse Man. The main explanation I've heard for this is that apparently Fuse Man's bombs are detonated whenever they're startled by any large electric shock. And apparently we want to explode the bombs while he's still holding them. I guess that's a lot like the Firestorm being used on Bomb Man. I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense if you think about it. No, I like how Fuse Man kind of looks similar to Grenade Man from Mega Man 8, but still looks more like a simpler, an 8-bit boss. Here we have these special TNT shockwavers. They take 6 hits to destroy, and every so often they periodically send the exploding shockwave. That's generally easy enough to jump if you get the timing down. And here we have Spider Hive. Generally they're pretty good, useful for farming if they show up after any difficult segments, but for now, with how early they are showing up, they're not really much of a problem, and they're not really much of a necessity either if you're farming for energy and power-ups. And then here we have these giant dynamite gorillas. They essentially throw sticks of dynamite at you. And here we have these special invisible blocks. You need a special weapon called the Crypt Cloak to actually use them. Ouch, yeah, that can be a time hectic if there's more than one of the gorillas on screen. However, with this one, it's pretty easy to get past. And now here we have Mining Cart, the main gimmick of this stage. Yeah, I mean, you shoot the handle once to get it going, but you can't stop it once it is going. Now, before we do this one, I just want to see if you can probably stand past the handle just to get rid of enemies prematurely and grab this one up. I'll time my landing down carefully. Now here, be ready to jump. And before you do this, be sure not to take too much time because you want to catch up to this. Ooh, barely made it. And we'll be seeing more of that later, but for now, checkpoint. Now here you really need to be concerned with your speed. I believe those gorillas take 6 hits to defeat, so now you're gonna get down here, slide, outspeed it, then jump up here, and fall down here. And this one's pretty simple to get by. Shoot this one, then jump out of the way. Of course, these aren't... Okay, now, here you see this countdown and these missiles. Now the missiles, you don't want to destroy them too much because you can easily time your jumps to avoid them since they're pretty patterned in their time. And we also have count bombs. You step on it and after 3 seconds or whatever the number it is, it'll explode, so you don't have too much of a time window. Granted, this did take a bit more practice. I mean, it's not that confusing though. I guess with all the explaining to do, I made it past in 10 seconds, and we're already at Shock Man's enemy, Fuse Man, or Fuse Man. Now this fight is all about speed. Yeah, and finding a good time window to avoid his jumps and his weapon, the Phantom Fuse. Thankfully, with the Shock Gauntlet, yeah, practically a piece of cake. And with that, note that if you defeat a Robot Master with a Robot Master weapon, then you will automatically be switched to the Mega Buster for some reason when you try to rescue the enemy, who in this case is Bomb Man. Yeah, I like how, along with the fact that you're rescuing a Robot Master, or a Rock Force member by defeating a Robot Master, they're usually related to the Robot Master, and the Phantom Fuse is a pretty useful weapon. I mean, it can be pretty fast and somewhat hard to control, but if you can manage to control it pretty well, it has a humongous explosion, so it's pretty powerful. Anyhow, that was a relatively short stage, I have to say. Anyhow, this is where I'll be signing off. This is on the Fist Chillin'. Arrivederci.